Welcome back. If it has joined us, you're watching Channels Television, celebrating 21 years of professional broadcasting. This is the news at 10. Here's a reminder of our major stories tonight. Police in Ogun State nabbed the father of a 9-year-old who was chained down for over a month for stealing. Federal government is poised to relocate all internally displaced persons across the country back to their ancestral homes. President of the world's football governing body, FIFA, Gianni Infantino, arrives in Nigeria on a 2-day working visit. And German officials say the teenage gunman who killed 9 people in Munich on Friday had been planning the attack for a year. Just a reminder that all our top stories can be found on our websites, channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channels, where you can watch our videos. Do log on to m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. We encourage you to use the Eyewitness feature on the Channels TV app. If you have pictures or videos you'd like to share with us, tap the application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and follow the instructions. The People's Democratic Party candidate Air Marshal Isaac Alpha has emerged winner in the Kogi East senatorial rerun election. INEC returning officer Professor Lucky Owasa, who announced the results, said Air Marshal Alpha had a total vote of 56,572 ahead of his opponent from the Labour Party, who had 11,908 votes. In the meantime, the rerun election in Oru East, Isiala-Mbano and Okigwe North senatorial constituency in Imo State have been declared inconclusive. The resident electoral commissioner explains the Isiala-Mbano state constituency election was inconclusive due to cases of overvoting. The 127.6-kilometer long Lagos-Ibadan expressway that connects Ibadan, the capital of Oyo State, to Lagos State, has had its fair share of disappointments with regards to promises of reconstruction. For some time now, work on the road stopped due to what contractors attribute to non-remittance of funds by the federal government. In our next report, our correspondent, Oluwaseun looks at the history and importance of this road, regarded as Nigeria's busiest and arguably most dangerous.
The Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. With an estimated 250,000 vehicles plying this route daily, the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway can be regarded as one of the busiest interstate routes in Nigeria and probably Africa. Unfortunately, as the expressway boasts of this enviable record, it also has its fair share of unpleasant stories linked to it, such as being one of the most dangerous roads to drive on, having a record of being the most accident-prone highway in Nigeria. Another problem is heavy traffic, usually caused by narrowness of the road, potholes, and debris from accidents. This matters brought us several government officials to restate the need to ensure the road is properly reconstructed. The most recent being the governor of Ogun State in November 2015, after a portion of bad road caused gridlock for hours.
We cannot just treat this as any other road. It's the busiest. If our commerce, if our economy is going to thrive, this road must be fixed.
Another controversy is the amount of contracts that have been awarded, revoked, and re-awarded toward the reconstruction of the road. Past presidents, from late Musa Yar'Adua to Goodluck Jonathan, were involved with contracting out jobs to the tune of about 2 trillion naira. A lot of promise and money, but the results usually ended up the same way: stalled. Now, with the President Muhammadu Buhari administration overseeing matters, there is renewed vigor that there will be speedy reconstruction of the 2 sections. The Federal Controller of Works, Lagos, sheds light on the whole matter.
About 3 weeks ago, the federal government paid them virtually what we are owing them, and they have remobilized to site. there are two sections to this contract. Section 1 is from Lagos to Shagamu interchange, while Section 2 is from Shagamu interchange to Ibadan. Section 1 is being handled by Lagos-Ibadan Nigeria PLC, while the Section 2 is being handled by ROCC Nigeria. When you leave a road for about 2 years without maintenance, you know what that meant. It means even the areas we have done before will certainly go back. So what Lagos-Ibadan is presently doing, they remobilized about 2 weeks ago to do what we call palliative work, to make sure that the road is motorable up to a certain level, while full mobilization is also taking place. While at the other end of Ibadan, ROCC has commenced full execution of the works.
With the resumption of work on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, one can say the federal government is making progress. Now, how much time and money will be spent in completing this project is another matter. Orolu Ashenibare, Channels Television News.
The wife of the president, Mrs. Aisha Buhari, is seeking support for women entrepreneurs in Nigeria towards attaining economic productivity and independence. According to Mrs. Buhari, women should be given their pride of place in the development of the nation, that they should be mindful of the home front. She made the remark at the Women in Export Forum and Exhibition organized by the Nigerian Export Promotion Council.
These are some of the products of some women entrepreneurs across Nigeria. This is part of efforts to sensitize the Nigerian woman on the need to be involved in business, especially for export purposes. At this roundtable session, men and women involved in business gather to discuss how women can be included in global export trade. The Nigerian Export Promotion Council is organizing the event in collaboration with the International Trade Center, who is committed to enabling 1 million women in Africa venture into trading this year.
Let us harness the work done so far. Let us raise the profile of our women. Let us join our counterparts from across the world and bring 1 million women into trade by 2020.
The initiative is geared towards tackling the challenges faced by women in export, including funding, capital and land acquisition, cultural beliefs, gender imbalance, and lack of support from men.
Nigerian women are extremely hardworking women. We are all aware. We all know that. And a lot of speakers admitted that we are enterprising and extremely hardworking. We only need a little push, and this is the time.
Though this initiative brings great hope to those who will no doubt benefit from it, I respectfully ask for its speedy implementation. By the time some get to the end of the tunnel, a lot may have been lost. Is it possible for us to cut through the tunnel and bring them out today?
The target for Nigeria is to involve 100,000 women in the initiative, and most of these participants are hoping that the right support will come for the target to be attained.
It is almost 2 weeks since a federal high court in Lagos State declared as illegal the new electricity tariff, which took effect in February 2016. While that decision may have been appealed by the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, the managing director of the Eco Distribution Company, Mr. Oladile Amuda, has warned that successes recorded in the electricity market could be eroded. Our energy correspondent, Olu Phillips, tells us more.
The head of the Civil Service of the Federation.
On November the 1st, 2013, history was made under the former administration of Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan when Nigeria fully migrated from a public-driven power sector to a largely privately owned and run power sector. Since the takeover, the level of apathy has continued to grow, and this is attributable to the inadequacies with power supply despite the huge investments. While consumers were still grappling with poor electricity supply, on the 1st of February 2016, a new tariff regime came into force, leaving in its trail waves of divergent views and disagreements.
The labor and through the bush complain about why increment, but there is no increment in salary.
The increment of this tariff actually to affect our businesses ease.
It's almost 5 months since that new tariff regime came to effect, and just 2 weeks ago, a federal high court in Lagos dropped a bombshell. The court ruled that a recent upward review of electricity by the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission (NEC) was illegal and should not stand.
This judgment, in our view, is a setback to the progress made so far in the electricity sector. Therefore, while we respect this judgment, we will challenge this decision.
As expected, that order did not sit down well with the DISCOs and NEC. They argued that returning to status quo would spell darkness, over 10,000 job cuts, and a reintroduction of fixed charges. Ultimately, they say investments will squeeze. Labour thinks it's victory for the masses, and when we spoke to the minister earlier on the tariff increase, the timing and necessity, he tells us that it's a necessary bitter pill that will ultimately cure the ailment of poor electricity supply.
Whatever price the tariff offers now is a lot cheaper than diesel generation, inverter generation, petrol generation. So it's painful, it's not sweet, I know that, but I do it because we are not left with many choices. This is the first major decision in power that this administration is taking.
The job is too much for them. So we need to introduce another set of hybrid company that will manage consumer affairs and metering.
Looking closely at the power supply value chain reveals something very interesting. Distribution can only happen when there is generation. The generation that should be effectively and efficiently transmitted on transmission lines that are currently inadequate, a generation that runs more on gas-fired turbines, which are transported better through the pipelines which get occasionally blown out. When they are even supplied through transportation to generating plant, until the last consumer pays his consumption bills through accurate metering, which still has a 50% supply gap, the gas supplier does not get paid. Then, power supply is challenged. That is the quagmire that needs to be resolved. The value system cannot afford a weak link. Who will bail the cat? Olu Phillips, Channels Television News.
Joining me now on the news at 10 to discuss this situation is the Executive Director, Association of Nigerian Electricity Distributors, Mr. Sunday Oduton. Thank you so much for joining us on the news at 10.
Thank you very much.
You've been here before,
yes.
When electricity workers went on their strike action, and now
yes.
You're back again, and we're talking about increased tariffs, which a lot of Nigerians, I believe, will disagree with you. There's a court ruling on that already, and you're appealing that. What do you hope will be the outcome?
Well, talking about the court ruling, I can only say that first and foremost, we respect the judgment given by His Lordship, Justice Idris, and of course, we obey the judgment. And when a judgment is given like that by a federal high court, which is the court of first instance, we are allowed under the law to take the necessary and further step. First is to go to the Court of Appeal. After that, we have the Supreme Court, where the finality lies. So that's about the court case. But we are looking at the global picture. We are looking at the total. It's not about court cases now. Whether or not there was a court case, the issues are still there and the issues remain there. And what I want Nigerians to understand is that, number one, let me even say clearly here, on behalf of all the discourse, that we do apologize to Nigerians, particularly the paying Nigerians, the paying customers, who normally are always willing to pay for their bills. We apologize for this erratic power supply and the problem that we have in the sector. The problem is because people need to understand there's a value chain in this business. We have the generation companies, transmission companies, and of course we have the distribution company. We are the distributors. Now, talking about the issues, You have to start from even gas. Gas supply is a major issue.
Yeah, we will come back to the issues. You will have your time to talk about them. But let's just take a break now. Still ahead on the news at 10. We'll continue this discussion on the Nigerian electricity distributors and the increased tariff situation, as well as our community report tonight. We'll take a look at how residents of Etteh-Ibas community in Osun State are coping despite the collapse of a bridge linking the two communities. Please join us again.